Just finished that tuition with Mark, and in bitterly cold conditions, north easterly wind blowing straight at us, the worst wind to fish in apparently. We had a right number really, we ended up with 15, he had 8 to 27 linear, 7 PBs because he had 7 20s, so another happy customer. I had, was it 7 to 29, most of mine were sort of the smaller ones, so Uncle Jim became the pest control officer. Decided to sort of like pack up, he needed to get home early, so I decided to have a bit of a chill out before I head home, and come over on Hartsmere. As you can see, I've got my sunglasses on here. It's first few days of March. Even though there's an easterly wind here, I'm sort of like backed up on the wind. I'm behind like a load of trees here, so covered by the wind, and it is, oh, the sun on you, it's lovely. I mean, you can imagine the carp laying around, sunning themselves now. There ain't a lot of activity in the water as such, which is unusual for here, because what I mean, the water's normally churned up even in the winter. It's quite clear, you can see down several feet. I've seen, what was it, about 5 fish, and I've only been here sort of only fishing an hour. I'm only fishing 2 rods as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So I thought I'd just give it a few hours till about 2 o'clock, see what happens, and then I'm going to head home, taking the wife out and that tonight for a nice Chinese, so happy days. I'll give you a bit of a guided tour of the other end of the lake. As you know from the other films I've done, videos, I've already covered this lake before, but up the other end in mega cold conditions. So we're now at least a month to 5 weeks on from that. So I'm now going to give you a guided tour of the lake this way. Right, here's a swim. You can see just out here as well where the wind is just hitting the water, blowing from right and then going to the left. The fish are over there in the back, keep rolling. Hopefully we might get one on film sticking his head out over under the trees there where it's calm. And there, if they show when the wind's actually on the water like it is now, quite heavy, they'll be right on, sort of like in between a bit of wind and the calm. These are simple hunting skills, right? Yeah, you know, think yourself, you know, I'm sitting here, it's cold but the sun's out, and when you get in the shade in cover behind the wind, it's flipping boiling hot. And it's just, a lot of these situations apply to like other animals, birds, fish, etc, etc. I bet you there's rabbits laying around all over the floor, right? Yeah, sunning. There's a kingfisher just gone across. That tells you one thing, because he's been hunting to my left under the trees. Yeah, under the trees, right? Yeah, because the little fish will be up there. So everything's coming in the sun, you know. Sometimes it's just a little bit of careful thinking, looking around, you know. Watercraft it's the hardest thing to master, but once mastered, it's just unbelievable. You can second guess where fish are. You can even think where fish are, because the more you watch these carp, the more you're going to learn, instead of just sitting there camping, which to me does you no favours. I love working off the barra, being mega mobile. You just seem to use your time wisely. See anything, move straight away. Minimal tackle off the barra. You just like fuzz a couple of rods out. You've got your tackle box out, pop ups, ready tied leaders, hook links, etc, etc. So you can just quickly put a rig on, fuzz it out. I mean, I'm being a little bit lazy because I'm chilling out before I go home, and I haven't even tied stuff up ready to rock, but I know I'm not going to move. The only place I'm moving is going home. Right, I'm just going to go and check my lines, make sure they're slack, because when you're using 20-pound X line, it's got a tendency to keep nailing itself to the deck, which I mean the bottom of the lake. so even after a quarter of an hour the line can get a little bit tighter, and as far as I'm concerned, a tight line is a no-no. A slack line is defo the right way forward. A big edge. As you just heard me speak, edges, there's loads of edges. It's just putting all these little edges together. It's like making a jigsaw puzzle as far as I'm concerned. There's many pieces of the jigsaw to put together, but the more pieces you put of that jigsaw together makes the bigger picture. What I mean is, when you complete the jigsaw and you get all these little edges together, you're holding a carp. In minimal time, by so many edges, like sharpening your hook, using the right rig, presentation. Location is the biggest thing people get wrong. So location, watercraft, slack lines, not tight lines, pre-baiting. The list goes on and on and on. But the more you learn, the more you can use in your armoury. And over the last probably 7 to 8 years, I've perfected these hunting skills, as I call them, and it means with minimal time, because everyone seems to think I'm a time bandit. I wish I was. No, I don't really, because I probably wouldn't catch half as many as I do these days. But I've got 2 days a week as a rule, 2 days tuition. I know I keep saying it, but and 3 days I go home and see my family, and I do go home and see my family. No blooming fishing involved at all. And I just find it bizarre, really. Then you've got people, when you just read on some of these stupid sites, I mean, these people, these, what are they, let's call them keyboard warriors, or are they, or keyboard anglers, because they don't seem to do a lot of fishing, really, do they? Oh, look at me, my name's Desperate Dan. Well, my name's Uncle Jim, and at the end of the day I'm out there and I do it. I don't sit there like typing it in. Yeah, well, I do type it in, don't I? But I like to play with them. But I'm out there doing it. And I mean, the latest one is I'm catching wrong'uns now. I'm telling you straight, that will never ever happen in this country, right? Yeah, I'd rather give up carp fishing and go eel fishing, or let's go sea fishing. At least you can catch them and eat them. So I'm fishing for wrong'uns in France, where they come from. It's got to be the classic. And like I said, these blogs are going to be informative, controversial, make people think about their carp fishing, etc, etc, and hopefully you'll pick a few pointers up as well along the way. So do you really think wrong'uns in France, in their place where you're fishing for them, are wrong'uns? Now, you call a wrong'un when they've been brought over here, and they're normally people, right, yeah, that can't catch a big one in this country, so they take the second best. Drop a funny one or a wrong'un into a pond, fish for it, it's easier. As far as I'm concerned, it's up to them, really, but they're only kidding themselves. But I like fishing for wrong'uns in their right place, and I really did enjoy that trip over Bounty Lakes, and I can't wait to get back. I might even have a trip before July, when I've got that couple of weeks tuition sort of holiday trips to do. My time's like coming really fast now, with taking all that time off with my wife, and I'm doing as much work as I can. Yeah, and I am going to be a time bandit soon, but from the last week of April, all of May, in the first 2 weeks of June. I'm doing 5 days a week, but I'm working very hard at the moment, right? Yeah, earning the money to pay for that. So when you look at the times as well of the year, you know May's good, sometime in April switches on, first 2 weeks of June can be good. It's just as soon as they spawn, that's it, it's finished. I don't want to catch big uns down in weight, so that's one of the reasons I'm going to France, so I can sit there, help people abroad, help myself as well out there, because I've got to learn like different tactics and stuff out there. So, and then the next bit I've got off is last 2 weeks of August, all of September, first 3 weeks of October, and I'll be doing at least 4 days a week, then sometimes 5. So I have to be I'm governed by a diary because I work, so I book certain times of the year off the hot times, and it's like no tuition, blah blah blah. The only thing I adhere to at them times are my mag work for DHP, which is total carp and advanced carp. So in the next March, sort of 6-7 weeks, right? Yeah, I'm out there again, and trust me, I'm going to be hunting some monsters, and hopefully I'll have a tail to tell and a couple of chunks along the way. But I'm going to carry this video camera around with me a bit, and sort of try and show you what I'm up to, what I'm looking for, etc, etc. So we'll have to see what happens, eh? Shouldn't wish your time away, but I'll tell you, I'm gagging for it. I could do with a fish as well at the moment. Come on, boys.